G'day, Doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. It's the podcast episode 43. We've got a special guest fan on today. We're going to have a few fans join, have a chat. We can probably even have 3 or 4 of you on here at one point if you want. But g'day, Brad. How you going, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
I'm very, very good. Tell me a bit about yourself. How long have you been supporting the Dogs?
I was born in '84, a good year.
Yep.
So I started following the Dogs when about '88, when I was 4 years old. Just started because I loved the colour blue when I was young. That's all that got me attached. And, watching the great Terry Lamb carve it up and Jim Dimmick after him. Those two were my favourite players growing up. And just went on from there. The passion's grown.
I love your shirt, buddy. Show the
Thanks.
logo there, buddy. So that's
You
from...
want
you got it's the reverse of what you want, other side.
Oh, yeah.
I have that problem too. No, other side. See? It takes you a while to get used to it.
There we go.
There it is. So that's from like back 2002, 2004.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I love it. Jimmy Rustler would be listening to this. He'll be wanting to get that jersey off you.
He loves it, eh?
He'll pay good money for it too.
Okay.
He's got. I thought I had a lot of Bulldog stuff, but he's got bloody heaps.
I usually just walk around in the Bulldogs training singlet, but it's getting a bit cold now.
Yeah. I've got some merch here. Someone actually names the team. I'll be able to send some merch out to somebody. I might just have to do a draw. I keep saying that, but obviously I've got a problem letting go of it. So we'll talk a little bit about the Dragons game from last week, I was so nervous about that game. It's been like this every week. It's like it's a must-win game for us.
Because, I know, 100%.
Yeah. Tell me, how'd you feel on Thursday night?
Once we beat the Dragons, I was so happy. Like, I was ecstatic. Once we started getting the lead, the Dragons, they've been leaking points all year. I thought, here we go, we're on here.
Yep.
Once we got to 20, I knew 30's coming, then 40, surely enough. And the smart thing we did this time around, we didn't attack for your left side. They moved Suwali or Suwali over there to defend, so we attacked the right side where he was, which was always good. They
moved Moses Sully over. They swapped him sides, didn't they?
Yeah, Moses Sully,
and then Eisenhuth on the left.
That's right.
So we attacked their left edge and kept going to our right.
Yeah.
The commentators keep making a thing about that, don't they?
I know.
The Dogs surely have got to go left, and then they don't.
Yeah.
But it just gives us more variation. So, I think we did a really good job. I think a lot was made of the fact that Sexton come in and he was directing play, but obviously, he took some choices that were his. But for me, it's all team.
Yeah, 100%.
Look at that try that Burton scored off the Sexton kick. Burton knew that every player on the field at that time knew exactly where they were going to be and had to be for that entire set.
Yeah,
and obviously Toby did well to make sure that everyone
knew their role, done their job.
Yeah. What did you think about the decision to bring Toby Sexton in?
Last year, Toby was really good. So I watch all the New South Wales Cup games as well. He's really stepped up in his talking. His communication was better. That's what that's why Drew got a jump on him. Drew was just so good at organising, so good at maneuvering the team around. A lot of people don't see that.
Yeah.
A lot of people just think, Drew, he's too slow. He's doing the job. Like, he's organising the team. He's giving Matty Burton space. And Matty will attack the line. Matty will run it.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. They talk about try involvement. So Matty Burton's got I think he's number 1 in the comp. Josh Adokar's number 1 for line breaks. Jacob Carraz is like number 2 and number 3 in about 5 different areas. We've got a lot of stats leaders, But one thing about try involvements, Drew Hutchison's right up there as well. And there was many times where Matt and Drew played both sides of the field, and it was all about early ball. So, people look at the Hollywood stuff for their super coach, but there's actually a good place, the Rugby League eye test, which I got off of lad Andrew Macker off Twitter, and he actually assessed Jacob Carraz versus Zach Lomax in about 21 different areas, and there's so many different things that they're looking at that aren't just necessarily what we're seeing. It's sort of about the how, and the why, not just about the outcome sort of thing. And yeah, Carraz, there was nothing much between them, but he was better in 13 of the 21 areas, which is
100%.
Yeah.
He's got the dog in him.
I think with Madge, though, he's only selecting players that he's called up previously. I think there was about 40 players that was sort of being told they're being considered for Origin. And so I don't think Jacob Carraz would have been on that radar. That's just my opinion. So he's probably never a hope of even being picked. What are your thoughts about Jacob Carraz playing Origin?
I love him. He's got the dog in him. He's got the heart. He's got the will to succeed.
Yeah.
He pushes all the limits, all the boundaries. In that his first debut game, Broncos, Suncorp Stadium.
Yeah.
Mate, he got hammered. He got belted. He got up. He just kept going. He was limping it towards the end. He got cramp.
Yeah.
But he kept fighting. He kept going.
I was at that game.
Yeah, I remember you were saying.
Yeah, and I think he won the hearts of more. Like, it wasn't just you, it wasn't just me. I think he won the hearts and minds of he played 44 minutes of some of the best rugby league we've seen.
I know.
We had it all against us. We had 5 or 6 players drop out because of COVID. He had to come on, and we looked like we were going to win that game for a long time. They got us late. But he was phenomenal, breaking tackles from the start. Everyone was like, who the hell is this? And he went from an absolute no-name. I'd watched him in New South Wales Cup do some really good stuff, and I'm like, oh, this guy's all right, but I'm not sure he's ready for NRL. And next minute, he's sitting there. Within 140 minutes, nearly every Bulldogs fan across Australia is like, he's in our team. You can't drop him. You know what I mean? And I think I'm sort of glad we've got him this week because we need him.
Yeah.
But I think he's an Origin player for sure. The next has him without the goal.
100%.
He's just so awkward to tackle too. I think the Raiders did their homework because they put 2 massive shots on him under the ball and it coughed up. And but you won't see that happening to him again this year, I don't think.
Yeah, that Raiders game. Those 2 errors were costly.
They cost us the game in the end.
Yeah.
But he still went on and did his work, helped create tries to get us in the game. And then the next game against the Dragons, he was definitely, I thought he was our best by far. I think he should have got 5 points. I'd have been happy to give, 2 points to Toby and 2 points to another player rather than just 3 to Jacob. I thought he was worth more than that.
Yeah. But if you look at as a team, as a unit, we're working together.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I like the fact that those points were so far spread because we are a team, the way that we play.
Yeah.
100%. Who's impressed you? So, who's impressed you the most so far this year, apart from Jacob Carraz?
The team in general, actually. Yeah. It's hard. It's been a team effort. Like I said, from Critter, his leadership. He's talking to the boys. He's got handshakes for each in the rear of the boys. So that just shows what a leader he is. And he's only going to get better. He's only young. He's going to grow into that leadership role even longer. And you got Kickow. You got everybody's impressive in their own way.
Oh, good answer, man. I 100%. It's all about team, and the thing about Critter, you got Critter, Burton, same age. It's funny.
Yeah.
The recruit, Josh Curran, same age. Toby's about a year under them. But you got these guys because they, I've done this cohesion stats, right? And I've gone through each team, and it's very hard to keep updated. I stopped after one round. But Canterbury, based on, we're defying the odds. We should be losing pretty much every game based on the amount of inexperience we have as our team playing as a team together.
Yep.
Adding the likes of Salmon, Critter, Burton to our side, along with having Kick-Out, and that actually really helps bolster that. The fact you've had Burton and Fox playing a lot together, and then outside in Origin and for Australia, it all really, really helps. And every game they get together is just like gold. And I think we're starting to see that. But I think where we notice that the cohesion isn't there is when it's tight and there's not many minutes to go and everyone's tired. That's when we look a little bit disconnected, I think. And that's where teams like Penrith and Melbourne and all that have got it over us. But what's your thoughts on that?
It's hard because our performances are chalk and cheese from last year. Like last year, there was no cohesion. Everyone was just one out doing their own thing. Today, this year we're working as a unit. We're working as a pack, a strong dogs pack, dogs of war.
They look like the Chihuahuas of war. They're not big. Like I'm watching Josh Curran against the Dragons, running it from the kickoff, and he was getting absolutely monstered.
Yeah.
But he just kept taking it, and someone was criticising him, saying that he sort of doesn't run hard into the line. He does occasionally when he's running it like a second row run off the back of a good first or second hitter. He runs really fast behind the line, but when he's taking a carry, you notice he watches how's the best way I can get through, and then make post contact, and then sort of set it up and maybe get an offload. I think he's a smart player, Josh Curran.
Yeah. Whereas like Curtis Moran's just off the back fence all the time.
Well, he only knows one way.
We love that.
Uncle Brad, the biter.
Yeah, that's right.
It's funny. I was at it wasn't City Rails, but it was a nightclub where Cloudland is now, I think. And I was at we were the next door. But afterwards, we went to that place, and Canterbury just played the Broncos, just going back to like 2006 or something like that, 2007. And there was all the stars there, but Brad Moran was sitting in there, and I actually went up to Brad. I felt like I could go to Brad and say hello.
Yeah.
He was great. He couldn't believe that being a bricklayer playing on 50 grand that someone come up to him. There was Luke Patton was there, a whole bunch of other players. And I went up to Brad because I think it was like he'd only played a couple of games back since biting someone. So
yeah.
I said, I'm glad you're thirsty. You're not hungry, Brad. Yeah, but Curtis, he's actually quite skillful as well.
Oh yeah. Like watching New South Wales Cup for years, he's got that late offload. He's silky. Could play lock.
He was doing the lock thing as well. Could throw the ball and copping it in the back. I don't know if you've noticed, but I just feel that Serrauto is coaching players. I just feel that we have a bit of hybridness about us, and he's allowing everyone to sort of develop and find themselves. And, like moving Flanagan to hooker, nobody really saw that coming. And I think Kyle Flanagan improved a lot when he didn't have to think about it as much. He was just at the ruck.
That's right.
And seeing Bailey Hayward go into that small lock position, like I had no idea that was coming up.
No.
Not sure that's his future, but
We're saying backup for Reed as well.
Yeah, well, he sort of got ahead of Jake Turpin.
Yeah, I know.
And that is, you see, we've had this affinity of reserve grade, and that have held all our hopes every year. So we've always felt the answer was in reserve grade because they've always been, in the hunt in the top 5 a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But it's good to actually. So a lot of people have wanted our younger players to get thrown into the deep end. I like that Serrato has had them training with the top 30, had them involved, and then if they've earned their spot, he's given them a go, not straight away. I just think they're a confident defensive unit at the moment, and I'm just truly hoping the loss of Kikau and Burton and Critter from that defensive line isn't going to spook them this week. What's your feeling about the Knights game?
I'm nervous. I'm probably the most nervous I've been, to be honest. Only because, like, the players that we have out, like Kikau, Birdo, Critter, that's, they're defensive players. They hold that line. They, like, Kikau, kick pressure. Leads the chasers in kicking, tackling, and that. He's always off the line first. Him and Reed lead that line. Now with him out,
his inside pressure is phenomenal as well. He really shrinks up that edge.
And it would have been a good battle between him and Tyson Frizzell.
Well, I think Tyson Frizzell's been their best player this year. Knights for the game. He's had a few games off.
But what I love about us this year is our deep defensive resolve. Like we're not getting pumped by any team this year.
Well, that's the bloody good thing, isn't it? So you'll be able to. Can you see the screen there? Can you see the players and everything? All right. So we'll go through it quickly. Armstrong's at fullback, so he's been doing great things in the lower grades for about 2 or 3 years, and he's probably surprised a few on how well he's fit into that Knights team. Hopefully the Dogs know that he's there, and there'll be no surprises. Dane Gagai is been all effort the last couple of seasons. I feel he's sort of playing like that Justin Hodges towards the end of his career. He gets the ball when he wants it. He does the hard stuff. He gets in there when there's attack. Greg Marju out of the back yardage is just a beast. I don't know much about Mapapalangi. Have you heard much of him?
No.
Jack Cogger and Hastings, I think, are a better halves pairing than having Gamble and Hastings. I think there's more variation there. And they got the Saifidi brothers back. Daniel's back from suspension. Jaden's getting games under his belt. He'll be a lot better next year once he's had a full season after that injury, if he can get through it. Leo Thompson was probably the form prop forward towards the end of the year last year. This young Pierce Paul plays with a lot of effort. Same with Lucas and Elliott. Like they've stripped it back a lot, the Knights, and it suited them. They're just going out there, grinding out wins, doing the hard yards since we beat them.
Since they lost Ponga.
That's it.
They haven't been here. They've just been all working together as a unit rather than just like one man, one trick pony out the back.
100%. That's what I was about to ask you. Yeah. But let's look at us. We've got big congrats on the extended bench. It's really good. I actually had a crack at naming Harry Hayes as one to come up earlier in the week. But Lipoi Hopoi as the 19th man, that's a big deal for him. Tracy I think Wilson will play right wing and Adokar left wing, and I think Bronson will stay on the left edge and Jacob will go into the right.
Yep.
But yeah, the way they do their numberings at the Bulldogs, you can never know. They change it
Yeah, I
around
know.
all
It's always backwards.
the
Left side, right side.
and I think they think they're fooling the opposition. But Hutchison into 6, he plays left. Toby plays right. They'll play both sides. Be interesting to see who actually is the dominant half in this game.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Toby's the one who pulls the strings and Drew tries to have a running game. And I'm hoping Drew gets early ball out to young Jacob Preston on the left edge. And we see Jacob taking on the line. The thing about Presto, he's sort of really awkward to tackle like Carraz. He's got that body shape, hey? And he's just got this ability to poke through and get away a quick play the ball, and that's so important to us.
Yeah, true.
Kurt,
But
man,
then also his defense, he's very good as well. He's very sound at defending.
Oh, mate. Look, when we're talking about Origin, Jacob Preston, I think, will be in the New South Wales team within the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, we put a lot of pressure on him. But I was just watching his work against the Dragons. Like, he played, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. He was just phenomenal and didn't really get any accolades out of that game. But God, he's a good little player. Well, he's not little.
Talking about not getting accolades, what do you think about Jamon Salmon?
Yes, well, that's the thing about Jamon. You know, and that's what I look for in the opposition teams. Who's the player? And this is what I look for in Origin. Who's the player that no one's looking at? Because I don't think that anyone thought Jamon Salmon was gonna step off the right foot and score that very important try, which got us back to 12-all.
Yeah, no.
Like, that surprised me.
Like, his defense is unbelievable. You can tell, like the Raiders, when he wasn't there, it's like they just carved us through outside. His defense, his leg tackles are brilliant.
Curran started on the edge in that game, and he struggled a bit.
Yeah.
When they moved him back to the centre into the middle, he was a lot better. But Jamon Salmon, if you go watch his highlights of his tries and his career and stuff, he's scored that try quite a few times on both sides, where he's just taken on the line and scored points that way. It's one of his patents, and that's how he sort of scores points. And
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't expect it, and I was so happy for him, and I was so happy for the team to get that win. Obviously, losing Moses Sewell, who was it? Jack Bird,
Sully.
very defensive centre.
Bird, yeah.
Losing him and also having their prop out after he was pretty much ineffective from the 5th minute of the game till they took him off. You know, that's where I look at that game and I go, well, we did what we needed to do. We put them to the sword, and I'm very proud of that. But I'm not getting over, excited about anything because
well, you see, when the Roosters belted them, that's because they lost the centre as well. So the Dragons, they haven't adapted. They haven't learnt.
Well, if you like watching the last couple of years, like I've watched the Bulldogs in 2021, 22, 23, and especially against them Souths games, the Parramatta game, we lost Carraz, we lost, we had played Sinbind, we lost the Fox, and all those games we were actually on top in all of them.
Yeah,
until that adversity happened, and
Presto's
then
hip drop that he didn't do.
Yeah, hip drops that were the Preston one. Yeah, so we lost that game 50-16 or something, but I felt we were the better team for 40 minutes of it in different parts. The first 20 and then that 20 minutes before when we got back in before Preston got sin-binned again. But the reason I talk about that is just how far we've come, because we've had games where we've lost players, where we've had games this year where but Salmon's had to go to centre.
Yeah,
and
true.
no one's blowing us off the park.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've learned.
Mm.
Do you think this small pack is a result of is actually sort of deliberate, or do you think they just looked at the players they had and then have come up with a game plan to suit us? What's your thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
that's what I think. That's what I think Cameron Serrata did.
Hey?
I think he's worked out. Okay, for my defensive system that I need in place, I need mobile players. I need players who aren't going to fatigue, who aren't going to struggle, who's going to get back in their position and tackle their ass off.
Yeah. Well, you watch Penrith, James Fisher-Harris and Moses Leota, most of their runs happen when they're in the attacking half.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they have that one big body on the bench, which comes on and adds energy, and everyone else is mobile.
Mm.
I make comparisons because there is a lot of that DNA in what Canterbury are doing, but also feel that we're playing like 5 playmakers in our game.
Yeah.
And usually 4 on the field at once. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you look at all our players have the ability to use the ball.
Yeah.
We're not just a tuck it in and hit up because we're going to get belted.
Yeah. We're a skillful side too.
Yeah, definitely.
So to add to that, you could put Kurt Mann, Jamon Salmon, Bailey Haywood, Reid Marnie. They can all go to first or second receiver at any point. It must give the opposition team a little bit of sort of, that player was doing that job, now he's doing this job. It must create some sort of confusion. And then we see Burton go. Sometimes Burton actually plays like a roving centre.
Yeah.
Out wide and stuff in attack. Hopefully, someone will deal with. I'll just be a
smoke
second.
alarm again.
I'll mute this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate.
You can now. Well, at least I know the mute button works. My son must be bloody smoking something downstairs. or using the air fryer again. Yeah, I'm nervous about this game, but look, I'm also excited. I'm excited to see Blake Wilson get another opportunity. I'm excited to see what Drew can do at 6 with Toby, and sort of curious to see who's going to take over on that. And that forward pack still looks pretty good to me. There's not Powasa sort of. He's been a bit of. What do you think about Powasa Farmasili this year?
Yeah, I like him. His impact has been good. He runs straight. He's direct. He doesn't fancy. He's not nothing fancy. He doesn't ball play. He just tucks it under and goes.
We got any stats? 4 appearances. Average is hard for him because there was a game where he got smashed in the first hit up of the game.
Against the Sharks.
35 tackles made, 100%. But under sufferance, he does struggle to get back in the line, and that's when it's a risk. But 42 metres from 3 hit-ups, averaging 3 hit-ups for 42 metres average means he's getting good yardage off his runs. 108 kilos, 6'2" or 3. Yeah, I like Powasa. I think I really hope he can develop and go forward with us. Josh Curran's numbers. Averaging 120 meters per game. That's phenomenal. for career, I don't think so. His tackle efficiency's improved at the Dogs, and his meters per game, obviously getting more minutes, but he's doing a phenomenal job with the Bulldogs. But it's all the off the work stuff he does as well.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So you watch the games over again sometimes?
Yeah, constantly.
It's better than anything on TV. I just end up defaulting.
I was just watching the Roosters game before I put the kids to bed.
Oh, that first half, wasn't it nice?
Yeah, it was very good.
I
That's
loved
another
it.
one, Kurt Mann, we haven't spoke about.
Yeah, well, tell me about Kurt.
First game back against his old club, Newcastle. Should be down for a good one. Because he didn't play the first game against them this year. He was out injured.
Yeah, I think Kurt's was been one of our best. That offload, first time they started him.
Yeah.
Another thing, like this is what I said at the start of the year. I said that Josh Carr and Kurt Mann, they're going to interchange these players. Sometimes they'll be starting, sometimes they won't. It's just going to depend on the strategy they're using, on the ground they're going to be at, the whole lot, the weather. It's all going to play its part. But they'll all play long minutes, and people are like, "Oh, Kurt Mann has to be the starting lock now." They brought him on, and he ran and offloaded in the line, which he hasn't done.
Right.
So they brought their game, they brought surprises, they brought things that the opposition didn't expect, and we got heaps of points on it. Forgot about the chat screen. So let's say hello to everyone. G'day, Aussie Prisons. He said, "G'day to you, Brad." Mark said, "That's
Cheers,
Brad." Chief antagonist Mark O'Connell.
Yeah, I've heard.
Think Brad is scared of Michael. Scary 79. Most years the Dogs always lose key players at the start of Origin if we're sitting well on the ladder. I suppose that's just consequence of being a bit successful.
And it's a good problem to have.
Hey?
It's a good problem to have. You want your players against such rep teams.
Yeah. Well, it is that iron sharpens iron, as you like to say,
Exactly.
Brad.
Yep.
G'day, Peter. Even all, yes, looking for demand playing in Newcastle. G'day, Pete. Wish you were on here as well. We can have a big threesome, foursome, fivesome now. Mark saying hello to everyone in the chat. Hope you're feeling good today, Mark. Hope I give you that was some. I've got your voodoo doll there. I've been patting it. It's me little Mark O'Connell voodoo doll. Did you feel that? Yeah. Mark's been a little bit unwell, so glad to have him back on, listening to his banter and driving me nuts. Yeah, Pete's looking forward to Kurt Mann coming back and playing in Newcastle. But they love him there, Pete. They absolutely love him. Menage a trois. Menage a trois. Yeah, all a bit of fun and games. So, what's your predictions on this game, Brad? Tell me how it's going to go down.
Looking at a Knights forward pack, it's a bit worrying. They got the Daniel Safadi and the brothers. They're always a hard team, Newcastle. Let's not joke around. They got outside backs. They got the forward pack. Their halves are a bit of a weak point, but they can still get the job done. But I reckon if we continue defending how we're defending, and if we can score a point, mate, we're going to score a try. We're going to score another try.
So, well, it's sort of been that way. Once we get one, we usually follow it up with another. You know, it's that's been all season. That once we
Whereas
break
last
that,
year was the other way around. We'll concede one, then we'll concede another one, and then concede another one. It's like, you know, there's a resolve issue.
It's much better, man. It's definitely much better. It's just nice to see. Like, I hate losing. I really hate losing.
Oh, same.
But I've been look, a lot of people and fans are very critical after the Raiders game. But there were still moments in that game where I felt, even though the team was 1% down across the board, there was still moments where I went, God, we're gutsy. We're not at our best, but we're still turning up. We're still trying.
In that second half, like when the Raiders started getting on a roll, and we had to defend. We'll lose on the ruck. And then they'll just attack. But our scramble defense this year's been awesome. Everyone's just backing for each other. Everyone's just hustling for each other out there.
Mark reckons that Wilson, our number one winger, our first drop, will score 2 tries. Let's hope Hutch can get him the ball. Which side's he on? Toby on the right.
Toby on Toby's side. Actually.
Yeah. But
as long as he scores 2 tries and we win Mark, I don't mind.
100%. We all love Wilson. Wilson's a champion. No one feels bad when Wilson's not in the team. I mean, no one feels bad when he's playing, you know? He's going to get the job done for us. Wilson! Someone needs to come up with the Wilson volleyball thing for Blake and do one and call it Blake or something. I don't know. Trying to be funny. So yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it'll be under 42 points are scored. It's a good segue, actually. Peter, it'd be interesting how Hutch fills Birdo's shoes. Yeah, look, he's obviously not as quick as Birdo. But he's not as slow as what people make out either. I think oppositions know players. It's like you watch when Jerome Luai plays on the left. The reason he comes back to the right a lot of the time is because the opposition are up on that in the face of the players on his outside. That's from what I'm seeing. And he's faster than Hutchison. I think Drew gets a little bit telegraphed in what he's doing, and he sort of turns a little bit, and you know that he's going to he's going left, and they're doing what they do. But so the opposition know to sort of put that pressure on, and then he doesn't throw the ball. He's done it a couple of times, and he found Preston once for a good try, and he stuffed a couple up as well. So there's been, I think that's a confidence thing with him, where he needs to probably work on not being as transparent or telegraphed in what he's doing. But I found the last few games that Drew played, he actually threw a lot more early ball to Burton, and it paid off. We looked really good. Like, how many breaks did we make against the Panthers? 7-3. You know, we end up having the same amount of breaks against the Raiders. Won the breaks 8-2 against the Dragons. You know, there was no real we've been making the most line breaks against teams. That's something I'm not used to us doing for a long time. Haven't been scoring enough points off it, but we've been making the breaks. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we have bombed a few. Like I said before, I was just watching that Roosters game, and when Hutcho, he could have just went right, let the ball sing, let the ball talk, get rid of it, you know. But he cut back in and tried, you know, straighten it up. We had numbers on the outside, but you know, it's all part of a learning curve. Like, I'm not angry because the guy's trying his guts out. You can't get angry. You can get angry if he's not trying.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
he's going to have a good game. I'm confident in our team. He's got Bronson Cherry outside of him. He's got speed. He's got Josh Adokay outside him. Speed. We got the speed to win.
I think there's been a bit of a run and battle between. I've gone back and been watching the Bronson Cherry and Josh Adokay breaks. Like they've put on some great tries together on that wing. Some phenomenal tries, but there's been about 5 times where they haven't used each. Might even be more than that, where they haven't used each other. And if they had, we would have scored points every time.
Yeah.
Or at least 4 of the 5 occasions. Have you noticed that?
But it's a learning curve. And Sarah will be reviewing that. They'll be watching on tape. You should have done this. You should have done that.
Yep.
Well,
I ask you that, and I love your answer to that, because that's a good mentality for fans. Sit there and look at it and go, learning curve. I know we're desperate for wins. We want to win. We've been losing for so long. And we're so close to being in a really good position. And if we'd done this and done that, but they're learning, and you can see they're learning, because we got 44 points on the weekend. Should have been 50.
Yeah.
And we're now sitting 9th in attack, 2nd in defence.
Who
would have thought that?
I know.
And I asked the people who are very critical. Like I see on all the groups, people still giving it to Serraldo. How can you give it to Serraldo? And these same people, Brad, and you've probably seen them yourself, and I think you handle them pretty well, and keep it positive and stuff, and constructive. But the same people that were saying, "Oh, our recruiting was so shit and so crap," but when we lose, they start blaming Serraldo or one player in the team. Do you notice that? Do you think that's a bit hypocritical, or?
I think our fans can be fickle at times. When things aren't going our way, we're screaming, we're saying, get rid of Gus, get rid of Serraldo, burn down the league club if we have to. But when things are going rosy, everyone's jumping back on the bandwagon, happy as.
Yeah, I suppose it's the way. It's human emotion, I guess. But yeah, that's the things that I like to point out. People make a lot of statements during the year, and I have this problem where I remember a lot of it. Can't remember what day it is. Or what street I just went down when I'm doing my job. But I'll remember when someone says something, and then I'll be like, then they change their tune. I'll be like, oh, here you go. 3 weeks ago,
people just need to trust the process.
They love him. Hey?
Yeah, just people need to just trust the process and just, Serraldo's the coach. Back him. Back our players.
Well, they obviously like him. Yeah. They do like Serraldo, the players. It's
And then when people say, oh yeah, but Birdo, he's a centre. No, he's not. He's a 5'8". He played 5'8" all his juniors.
He's a 5'8" until the coach picks him at centre.
Yeah, correct.
Until we get a better one. I think we've got some better ones coming. Don't worry.
Yeah. Joey O'Neill.
Yeah, I can't wait to be talking about him a lot. How did he go on the weekend?
Yeah, without Sexton there, he was not very organising. And Blake Taft wasn't expected to organise. It was his first game. Playing a new team, new system,
And Joash got his ribs smashed. I think you hurt his knee as well.
Yeah, he did, yeah. After making a 50-metre break.
Made a lot of mistakes. Hey?
Yeah, he did.
And there was no organisation in the back line after that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hayes Perrin went back there. Back to number 1. If you bring up the New South Wales Cup team list, Hayes is number 1 fullback this week.
Oh, is he? There we go. I'll share that now. I'd say we'll have a few new players in the side. So we've got Hayes Perham at fullback, Jarrell on the wing with Jonathan Seward getting back into New South Wales Cup, which is good. Samrani and Clark in the centres. Blake Taff at 5'8", Joey O'Neill at halfback. I think Blake will play 7.
Yep.
Jack Underhill, Jake Turpin, Zane Tedavano. Zane actually didn't play last week. He was 19th man or something.
Yeah.
Reece Hoffman, Harry Hayes, Lachlan Vale. He's a good young player. Romano Cook, I really like what he does when he comes on. That Jerome
so solid.
that he's been playing in Ron Massey. They had a win on the weekend. That was their second win of the season. They beat the top team.
Mm.
They're going a lot better. They've had, the defence is still an issue, and they're constantly swapping players in and out. Luke Smith is a really good young fella from the Greater Northern Tigers, and Elijah Matale and Trenton Peterson in the extended bench. What's your thoughts on Zane Tedavano?
He's had a really slow start, hasn't he? Like his motor's not there. Like I know he's old. I know he's just getting back from injuries and what up, but still, like they bought him for experience, but he hasn't shown any. Let's be honest. He's not the player he once was when he was killing the Roosters.
Yeah, he's a tough boy. I suppose he had that heart issue or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen him have a few good moments. But we used to see this from our props all the time. When you're watching props and they've got their back turn on the defence and they're trying to get back into the defensive line, and the play the ball's already happened, those players just simply aren't up to it at the moment.
Yeah.
And the great thing about our side is that I haven't seen much of that this year. But we used to see it like 4 times a set. Someone struggling to get back in the line.
No Liam Knight again.
Yeah, he must be injured.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's asked Gus about it. Let's ask Gus live. Let's see if... wonder if it'll log me any. I don't know how to do it on my computer. Oh, there we go. Phil Gould. G'day, Gus. Can you see what I'm doing here? Is this sharing? All right. G'day, Gus. How is Liam Knight? Not seen him. He'll answer that one. But anyway. So Mark said Drew will be in slow motion. That was nice of Mark. I don't like people putting down players. I really don't. Unless they leave the club. Pete Weber, need Tracy to chime in. It's going to work. It will work. Mark O'Connell, who takes over the availability in the middle? So what do you mean by that, Mark? Do you know what he means by that, Brad?
Availability?
Yeah.
We're not missing any middle forwards, so I don't understand the question.
Is that due to the loss of Kikau or... I've actually been more impressed by Burton's defence this year. He's played with a lot more.
He's taken his game to the next level.
And I was saying last night, I think he's got another 2 levels to go, and I think Serraldo reckons that as well.
Well, playmakers, they don't naturally progress until, 24, 25, 26. That's when they hit their straps. So he's still got, a few more years of learning, and watch him kill it from then on.
Support play. So Mark would be indicating by that Birdo has been one of the best in support play for our team for most of the time, not always. And he's not there. Drew Hutchison's actually been one of the major support players as well.
And Reid.
Reid's always there. Kyle Flanagan was great at that, and so was Jake Averillo.
Yeah.
But Bailey Haywood and Blake Taff, but Taff's not in the side, obviously. Haywood's run a number of support runs. Kings does at least 2 decoy runs per set.
Mm-hmm.
The support plays there. I think Burton has quite a few levels to go. Nah, I'd say 2 more levels. I reckon he's consistently been a 7 out of 10 this year. And his 7 out of 10 is better than some other 7 out of 10s, Mark, with what he does, just with his weapons. Mick Ennis said it perfectly, and I've said it numerous times. There's been sets where we've made 25, 30 metres, and Burton's kicked it to their 10-metre line.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, he's so important to us. People talking about moving to centre, and then he didn't play in the 2 games around Origin last year. One of those games was against the Knights when they beat us 66-0. And Oluwapu and Flanagan couldn't get the ball. You know, I think it was Rajab and Oluwapu.
Yeah, it was Rajab, yeah.
So they hooked Rajab. They couldn't get the ball bloody 30 metres. They're finding Ponga on the full 40 metres out.
Mm-hmm.
He just
that was a dark day.
Hey?
That was a dark day, that result, that game.
Yeah, it was sad. It was sad. And I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was coming that bad. But that left edge, Fitzgibbon and Ponga, they're a lethal combination. And I think he was missing Fitzgibbon at the start of this year. Both always had injuries, but when they put 2 or 3 games together, that left edge used to hum. I think they missed Dominic Young a lot as well, the Knights this year. Having him and Marju coming out of the back with full effort, speed and aggression really set them up to be a top team. They just don't have the same penetration with the other wingers that they've played with, like Tuala and stuff. So that's been the good thing about us, though, don't you reckon? Our back 5 have been pretty good with the yardage.
100%. You know, Josh Adokar, he gets criticised for that, for his yardage. He's not the biggest, he's not the tallest, but he has to go. You know,
Well,
and if he breaks that line, if there's a gap in that defence, he's through it. You know, and it's usually a try the other side.
100%, and he leads line breaks. How could you say he's out of form? And he's 5, like he's had a couple of, you know, when he came back in the South game, I felt he should have waited another week. He was soft in the contact, but during the trials and then the first couple of runs against the Eels in round 1, he was running harder than I've seen him run.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But what's his name? Bloody Cartwright put that hit on his shoulder and it dented his confidence. But yeah, he's definitely not getting pushed back as much, and he's actually getting some post contact, which I've never seen from the Fox, unless it was like he had some momentum and stuff, and he was poking through.
And he fights hard for that play the ball. He wants a quick play the ball to help the boys out for the next carry.
I think that's what I love about the Fox. He's this experienced winger and leader in our side, and he's trying to better himself. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He obviously, you know, and I reckon he'll keep trying his heart out, and you know, and that's the thing I have to say about Blake Wilson. His yardage is really good. He's got an ability to break a couple of tackles, but he also gets good. He doesn't get shoved around too often. Very good player. Pete Weber, good point. We won't have Birdo's meterage from kicking this week while he sits on the bench for Origin. It sucks big time. Yeah, so that'll be 90 grand that Matt Burt, if he stays 18th man, that'll be $90,000 he's earned in the last 2 years from Origin without playing a game or playing 1 minute. So that's one positive for him. But there's even a thought that if Luke Keary plays for the Roosters and then Nico pulls out late, that Keary will still play halfback back up 3 days later and play halfback for Origin, and Birdo won't come in. I think that just has to be a stupid opinion rather than fact. But some people are thinking that there's a chance that Burton might actually play. Correct. Thanks, Pete.
I don't see him playing. Do you mean playing for us, or are you playing for New South Wales?
Playing Origin.
Maybe at 17th man. Because you think what Billy Slater did with Selwyn Globo. He can cover the centres if he needs to. He can cover winger. Birdo's a big body. He can play up in the backs. You know, play in the halves.
We're just gonna have to wait and see. It's all speculation, mate. I loving your knowledge and the way you carry yourself. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, mate.
No, you're right. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have a chat with fellow mates who just want to see the Bulldogs do well. And you had a lot of great things to say, and I learned a little bit tonight myself. And yeah, man, and happy to have you on again anytime you want to come on.
Yeah, no
happy
dramas.
to have someone on here with me, and that goes to all you guys. You just want to jump on, put your ugly mugs up here. You don't have to put your mug on either. We can just listen to your voice. So I'll tell you what, Mark O'Connell's got a voice that like Pete's got the voice. He can actually sing. We could actually get him up here and have a sing. He's got some great songs. I've played a few. I could play one now, actually. You want me to play a song for you, Pete? I've got one up here. I'm sure of it. Sure, I've got one. Oh, no, it's the Avarillo one. I won't play the Avarillo one. But, yeah, but Mark's got a real sexy voice. You should hear his voice, mate. Oh, better than mine. On you, Brad. Thanks, Brad.
You're welcome, boys.
So, all right, we've been going an hour. Thanks to everyone who's joined and said hello. Big game coming up against the Knights. I'm nervous as hell, but I can't wait to see it. What's your scoreline prediction, Brad, before we go?
Dogs 18, Knights 6.
18-6. I friggin' love it. You know, who needs Burton and Crichton and Kickow anyway? What do you reckon?
No, we still need them, but iron sharpens iron. So if the young boys can come up and do the job, then I'll be happy.
Well, they talk about the baby Broncos. These are the bull pups coming through. Powers
Yeah,
are the
that's
bull
right.
pup. Blakey Wilson gets a chance. He's going to score 2 tries. I think the Dogs 22 points to 14 against the Knights at home. Anyway, mate, thanks for joining. It was great.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Dogs in a close one. All right. We'll see you guys. Go the Dogs. Go New South Wales. We'll be back on. We'll be back probably next Tuesday for Team Tuesday, and then we'll have an Origin special or something afterwards. All right. Take care, everyone.
Cheers. See you, bud. Bye.